Good morning, everybody! It is Ms Adrianna with the Faulkner County Library, the Greenbrier branch, and I am so excited for today's story time because we are doing aliens. I love aliens, space, Star Trek, all things. Yes. So, beam me up because it's story time. Alright, our first book is called Company's Going by Arthur Yorkins, illustrated by David Small, and published by Hyperion Books for Children. Speaking of space. So later, after a nice dinner at Shirley and Moe's, after all the soldiers, pilots, Marines, FBI men, and the cousins had said their goodbyes, the visitors from outer space made a momentous announcement. Moe and Shirley from Earth, they spoke. We have traveled across the great vast sea of space. Past black holes, through wormholes, we've seen galaxy after endless galaxy. But those were the best meatballs we've ever tasted. Oh, you should taste the pot roast, Mo. Humans from Belmore, the spaceman continued, we have chosen you to cater our sister's wedding. Oh, Shirley exclaimed. But, Mo tried to speak. We'd be delighted, Shirley said, as she served some cold drinks. And where will the happy occasion take place? She asked. On our new planet, said the spaceman. The planet next to. Next to? Mo stuttered. Where's next to? Mo looked upset. Next to Uranus, they answered. Mo was upset. Next to Uranus, they answered. Mo was upset. Oh, I love Uranus, said Shirley. Not that we've ever been there, but I hear it's very nice. Well, that's settled, the spaceman declared. We'll pick you up tomorrow at 8. Thank you, Mo and Shirley. The two guests made their cheerful farewells and left. But Mo was not cheerful. Later that night, as Shirley packed his socks and underwear, he fumed. Cheryl, do you know where Uranus is? So it's a little far, said Shirley. You'll take a magazine. But Cheryl, an alien wedding? It could be dangerous. Well, we survived your cousin Harriet's wedding, didn't we? Shirley said. We're going, and that's that. In the morning, at 8, a flying saucer landed in Mo and Shirley's backyard. Mo and Shirley were waiting with 27 suitcases. I took a few sweaters in case it gets chilly at night, Shirley explained. Mo and Shirley boarded the saucer with considerable strain. It lifted off toward outer space. They had barely passed the moon when Mo asked, Are we there yet? We just left, said the spaceman. Oh. Well, do you have any peanuts? Mo, Shirley interrupted, you eat too many nuts. Here, I have a tuna sandwich and a jar of pickles, some potato chips, coleslaw, a piece of chicken, some delicious herring from Murray's. They have the best fish. A meatloaf sandwich, and cake. Mo picked at the chicken, but he was not really hungry. He was worried. Very worried. Cheryl, what if the aliens don't like us? What if they don't like humans? What if they don't like your noodle pudding? Mo was beside himself. This spaceman couldn't help but overhear. Mo of Earth, they said, we assure you, our people are a gentle, peace-loving race. We get along with everyone. Don't worry, you and Shirley will be welcomed with open arms. At that, the saucer landed softly, and Mo and Shirley exited the ship. Martians! It's an invasion! Run for your lives! No, wait. They're not Martians. They're caterers. But it was too late. A nervous uncle fired his ray gun, and Mo and Shirley fell to the ground. Yikes. What? Are you nuts? The spaceman said to Uncle Irving. They're from Belmore. So clip my nails, said the uncle. To me, they looked like Martians. Mo and Shirley were rushed to the hospital where 492 members of the spaceman's immediate family waited, hoping and praying for their speedy recovery. How could Uncle Irving shoot the caterers? Sobbed the bride-to-be. Now what? I have to have a wedding with no food? She cried. Suddenly, Shirley woke up. No food? At a wedding? Mo, wake up! We have meatballs to make. The rays from the ray gun, having cured their arthritis, wore off, and Mo and Shirley went straight to work. In one day, Shirley had made so many meatballs, it seemed as if there was enough food to feed the whole planet. And there was. The whole planet came to the wedding. We love Shirley's meatballs, said the happy spaceman. Yes, the wedding was beautiful. Mo and Shirley, and the entire population of Next Two, ate and schmoozed and danced the night away. The next morning, after breakfast and a little shopping, the spaceman brought Mo and Shirley back to Belmore. So, do me a favor, said Shirley. Call when you get home, just so I know that you got there. And please, take a sandwich. It's not good to blast off on an empty stomach. We'll miss you. We'll miss you too. With one last hug, company was gone. The end. By Thatcher Hurd. And is published by Harper Children's. It happened one night while Farmer George and the pigs and the chickens were sound asleep. Kaboom! The pigs fell over, the chickens jumped 10 feet, a rocket trail blazed across the sky. Farmer George ran outside in his nightshirt. Where's my moo cow? Where's she got to now? Where his moo cow should have been, there was just a patch of burned grass. Farmer George called the sheriff. The sheriff arrived with his hounds. Where's my moo cow? Said Farmer George. Beats me, said the sheriff. The hounds just howled at the moon. Woe is me. Moo Cow was far away, cow-napped by a space cowboy named Zork. At 1,000,000 miles an hour, they zoomed past Mars and Pluto, over the Big Dipper, and straight through the Milky Way. Whoopee-T-I-O, get along, little Zorkies. Moo, goodbye, moon. The flying saucer landed on Zork's farm. In a galaxy far, far away, the Zigs on Zork's farm fell over when they saw the strange earthling creature. The Zickens jumped 10 feet. Wild beast, earthling moo cow, welcome to planet 246. Follow me. Planet 246? Moo. Any grass to eat? Zork pulled Moo Cow down the road. Aliens were arriving in spaceships from all over the universe. It was time for the Intergalactic Rodeo. For the first time ever, Zork the Cowboy, that's me, will ride the wild Moo Cow from planet Earth. Me? Moo. Zork jumped on Moo Cow's back. Giddy up! Yelled Zork. Moo Cow didn't move. Get along, little doggy! Yelled Zork. Moo Cow didn't move. Zork swatted Moo Cow with his hat and yelled, Lazy, useless, uncooperative, unintelligent, earthling Moo Cow. Moo Cow didn't like that at all. All of a sudden, Moo Cow whirled, Moo Cow twirled. She danced, she pranced. Then she bounced and boogied and bucked so high that Zork flew all the way back to his farm. Kaboom! Yikes! Cried the aliens. This wild beast earthling Moo Cow is too wild for our rodeo. They put Moo Cow in a flying saucer and blasted her back into space. Moo Cow pushed a button. Beep, beep. Moo Cow pulled a lever. Thunk. Then she bumped into the rocket switch. Shazoom! And blasted back through the Milky Way at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Around and around and around went the flying saucer. Moo Cow turned slightly green. But which way was home? Moo Cow didn't know. And then she saw it. Something she remembered. Hello, Moon. And soon, far below, there was Farmer George's farm. Just as the flying saucer was about to crash, Moo Cow bailed out. Down, down, down she floated. Kaboom! Farmer George fell over. The pigs fell over. The chickens jumped 10 feet. Well, I'll be, said Farmer George. Moo Cow ate green grass, Moo Cow chewed, and Moo Cow mooed. Happy to be an earthling Moo Cow, home again on Farmer George's farm. The end. Hedgie Blastoff by Jan Brett. Published by G.P. Putnam Sons. My name is Hedgie, and I want to be an astronaut. I work at Star Lab on the cleanup crew. I've never flown in a spaceship, but I take care of Zeppedoppler rocket for the professor, the smartest scientist on Earth. He's in charge of outer space. Today, when I got to work, the professor looked worried. Hedgie, we have a problem, he said. Big Sparkler is only sending up weak bursts of sparkles. If it stops altogether, there will be no more Big Sparkler and no more flowers. Big Sparkler is on the tiny planet of Makop. Alien tourists love to fly over it and watch it erupt, and to take pictures of the strange flowers that depend on the sparklers for food. This is an emergency, Hedgie. Call the scientists to the lab. The scientists came in and Professor explained the problem. Big Sparkler is failing, he told them. We need to go to Makop and find out what's wrong. I'd fly there in the Zeppedoppler, but it's too big to land on tiny Makop. We need to build a rescue robot and a small rocket to go there. The scientists looked at the drawings on the blackboard and went to work. I tried to help. Soon, everything was ready for the launch. Reporters came to hear about the mission. The professor explained, Big Sparkler isn't working properly. First, let me show you how it's supposed to work. He put a cork in a bottle of fizzy water. Pretend this is Big Sparkler. He shook and shook the bottle until the cork flew out and the water soaked the reporters. But now, Big Sparkler is sending up fewer and fewer sparkles. We think it may stop altogether. Well, how can you find out what's going on? A reporter asked. Meet Rescue Robot, said the professor. He threw open the hatch to the rocket. The pilot's seat was empty. We looked all around the lab. No robot. Then I opened the door to the cleanup crew closet. There he was in sleeper mode. Spikes jammed fast. Rescue Robot had probed too soon, got stuck, and crashed. The reporters looked at the professor. The professors looked at me and at Rescue Robot. Then he whispered in my ear, Hedgie, you are the only one who will fit into the rocket. How would you like to go to outer space? I nodded my head. Yes. The professor turned to the reporters. A little change of plans, he told them. Meet Rescue Hedgie. No programming necessary. The professor looked at me. Come back and tell us what you find, Hedgie, and we will fix the problem. The tiny planet Macabre got larger and larger before my eyes. The engines roared as the rocket settled onto Macabre's surface. I climbed out of the hatch. Big Sparkler's crater was in front of me. The flowers circling it had turned into little gray puffballs. Suddenly, I was startled by a low-flying saucer. It buzzed down just as Big Sparkler struggled to erupt. A thin stream of glittery sparkles sifted through the air and dusted the passing ship. The tourists inside shrieked and threw things out of their portholes and into the crater. Clink, clink, clunk. More squeals. Then I saw what was falling into the crater. Coins. I walked over and looked down. So that's what's wrong. Too many coins from all over the galaxy were filling up Big Sparkler. It needed to be cleaned out. I wanted to fix Big Sparkler for the professor before going home. But how could I drag all those years of coins out of the crater? It was impossible for one small hedgehog. Then I remembered the bottle of fizzy water and the cork. What if I became the cork for Big Sparkler? One small hedgehog might just be perfect for the job. I took a big jump before I was too scared. I landed in the opening and puffed up, my prickles to stop it up completely. I told myself, just hold fast with every prickle. I felt Big Sparkler pushing against me. The more it pushed, the tighter I held on. Hold fast, hold fast, hold fast! Kaboom! Big Sparkler erupted with a tremendous roar. It flew up and landed in a soft pile of sparkles. Giant flowers came alive right before my eyes. I raced back to the rocket and took off for home. I was making a victory orbit around Macabre when I saw the alien tourists. They were squealing with joy. Instead of throwing good luck coins into Big Sparkler, they were trying to catch them through the space. I hope it takes years for them to collect all those coins. Back at Star Lab, I was in for another surprise. I stood beside the professor as he said a few words to the reporters. Please meet our first hedgehog astronaut. The scientists at Star Lab proudly present Hedgie with the official astronaut star for his courage and cool thinking. I was an astronaut. The professor went on. Star Lab is grateful to everyone who worked to save Macabre and Big Sparkler, from astronaut first class Hedgie to our new high-tech cleanup crew. 3 cheers for Hedgie. Hooray! The end. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I love aliens. I love space. I will see you next week for mythology, which is another favorite of mine. So get ready. Bye, everyone.